Okay, I recording this video on Thursday, the 11th of May, 2017. It is 11:15 p.m. Chicago time. Hope you had a great day's trading today. Nice volume, nice range, nice trending move, found support into a V reversal for the day. So it was a really nice activity. Going to tag on my day trade, but going to talk about today's activity and respond to this email from Nick. So Nick says, "Hi Barry, any chance you can take a screenshot, better momentum, pro-am and sine wave? I'd like to see how your indicators gave a heads up on this up move and then the down move on the NQ this morning." So NQ is the NASDAQ. I'm usually looking at the Emini charts. You can trade the NASDAQ. I mean, it used to be far more popular. I mean, the Dow used to be a really popular kind of thing to trade kind of years ago, and the NASDAQ's always been very popular. I don't know why people trade those littler contracts. All the volume's going through the E-mini, but you know, Nick's asked for the NASDAQ, so I'll pull up the NASDAQ charts and just show you what's going on. But let's just talk about the last couple of days kind of trade. So I said on Tuesday, put out a video saying watch out, because we've reached all kind of resistances and a whole bunch of things kind of going on. For example, on the 15-minute chart of the E-mini, day session only, you can see we had all these end of trends kind of pop up on the lowest time frame. That's an early end of trend signal. On the highest time frame, there, and then on the intermediate time frame, end of trend there. And we've got exhaustion buy, bearish divergence. We come back, flush, and then exhaustion buy, and I said 2400 was the number. We'd run out of puff and couldn't get through it. So took us 2 days to decide that we'd really run out of puff, and then have this kind of nice kind of down move. And then from there, we've kind of had a V reversal. This is today's activity here, the drop and the V kind of reversal. Just note on the 15-minute chart, this is now not broken into weakness and a downtrend yet. So that's kind of interesting. So let's see what happens from here. But let's just have a look at the 4500 tip bar chart. So last 3 days trade. This is when I was putting out the videos saying watch out, you know, 2400, we can't get through it, and we need the low of this bar on the Tuesday is the key kind of number. So the low of that was 88.75, and during the Wednesday session we came within a half a point of that low, 23.89 and a quarter, and we had a nice V reversal here. The professionals step in on the way down, they hold it, and then they grab it on the way back up, and that support on the highest time frame holds there. So we had to go into it, but they didn't even kind of let us break through it or freak people out at that number. They were just anxious. They bought that low and drove us back up. Tried to get, you know, to 2400, but no. By the end of the day, blue professional bars kind of coming in, and we got up to kind of 96s or so, and then overnight the down move began. So first thing this morning, we had a little bit of a rally from some numbers that we had, and then we fell off into this downtrend, and that's where we see the blue professional bars kind of coming in again at the lows on these down bars, and then kind of driving it up. So what was the system saying? This is the better momentum kind of system. Beautiful. This is last day's trade with the overnight session. You can see after the close on the Wednesday, we dropped into a downtrend, had a low risk entry point right at the top up there, and then just down the whole way until we get a couple of things kind of going on. First of all, this exhaustion sell signal is getting the move going. That is, yeah, it's kind of coming in at a previous low, but it's not a left shoulder. We've not got end of trends kind of going on. That's the volume getting the thing going. Then we start to move into our end of trends on the lowest time frame. On the intermediate time frame, we have a short covering rally, which is really severe. You can see there, and then we kind of bust down here. More blue professional bars kind of come in here, and then we start to break to the upside. Exhaustion volume getting the move going, and exhaustion volume taking profits and getting out kind of up here. So downtrending move, uptrending move, caught beautifully by the system. Nice white bars showing downtrend and weakness. Nice red bars showing strength and uptrend. And there's the low risk entry point. This little dot here for the uptrending move. When was 11 a.m.? So 11 a.m., there's the window. We'd reversed nicely before 11 a.m., so we're likely to have a 2 trending move kind of day. If that reversal had not happened before 11 a.m., likelihood that the downtrend would have continued, but it got caught earlier on in the day and then we're on the way up. So I was short 90 and a quarter just after the open with these blue professional bars. They kind of came in and the lows got taken out. We broke into more kind of weakness below a support, bang, and took it out here. Movement target out to 94 and a quarter for 6 points, which is nice, but you know, there's way more in it. We were down to kind of 80s down here, so there's another, you know, 3, maybe 4 points kind of in it. But that's not my thing. You'd have to have sat through this kind of wiggle, and I'm just not very good at doing that. I'd rather get it, my trading at least, I'd rather get out on this kind of smooth sell-off activity rather than sit through these kind of retraces to get the full you know, move done. But you know, there are other people that can trade that better than me. So now that's what the system looked like for the E-mini. Just want to note another thing here. This is a nice kind of smooth, strong, fast trending move because we don't have on the way down many resistances that we come back up to a resistance on the intermediate time frame, and then we don't see resistances until here, the end of the move. Here's one, the lowest time frame, lowest, intermediate, and so on, kind of down here. Note on the way back up, though, this is more like a complex correction where we're seeing a lot of bouncing backwards and forwards on the way up, and you can see all of these supports coming in: lowest time frame, intermediate time frame, intermediate and low, low time frame, intermediate and low, and you can see that's a complex correction on the way up. That's a strong trending move because we don't get many opportunities to kind of jump in to a strong trending move like that. This one's slightly different, and each time we keep on pressing into Rambo patterns and falling away from the Rambo patterns because the amateurs are getting a little bit too excited or being taken out there, and then we kind of move away. So it was kind of interesting. That was a nice number as well, the Rambo patterns first thing in the morning, and then the blue professional bars kind of come in breaking the lows of that, and this thing kind of took off to the downside. So now, NASDAQ trades fewer contracts, so the tick bar settings are slightly different for the NASDAQ. I think, you know, an approximation, a close approximation to look at your NASDAQ chart versus your E-mini chart, you're looking at something like a 200 tick bar chart for the NASDAQ versus the E-mini. Sometimes you can use 150 on that, but I think 200 is probably a better number today. So again, the same thing. This is the overnight activity. We have a little bit of a bounce at the open. We find in this case resistance on the highest time frame, and then we drop into this downtrend. And in this chart, you can see we got pullback to end of trend on the lowest time frame, pullback to end of trend on the intermediate time frame, all syncing up with a cyclical support on the highest time frame. And those pullback to end of trends, they're rippling through the time frames. As we've got a strong trending move, then we're exhausting ourselves, exhausting, and then we break into an uptrending move. We've got a low risk entry point here. This little break to the upside is a little bit too early. We've seen all these blue professional bars. You can see them down here at the lows and the lows and the lows kind of going on here. Exhaustion, sell, nice kind of just final pattern. But you got to be, you can't get into this move to the upside too early. You just got to let it really exhaust itself on the way down. Again, similar pattern on the way up. You can see far more kind of supports kind of coming in on the low and the intermediate time frames, showing that's a complex correction on the way up, whereas this is more like a strong trending move with no kind of retraces really to kind of get in until you get these pullback levels there. In terms of signals to get in, pre or just after the open, we had these blue professional bars up here. That was a false break, and as soon as we had a couple of resistance on the intermediate and the highest time frame come in, and then we're breaking supports on the lowest time frame, we couldn't get through the resistance on the lowest time frame. That little number up there, we're breaking into weakness there with these things in the background. The resistance on the intermediate and highest time frame, bang, this thing's kind of driving down into this downtrending move. So for my money, I prefer the E-mini charts. I think they're a little bit kind of smoother, kind of clearer signals to me, and that's because there's more volume going through the E-mini market. The smaller the contract or the smaller the market, the more opportunity there is for kind of gaming kind of going on. And I find the patterns, just the activity is a little bit more kind of jaggedy, a little bit more spiky, and so a less kind of smooth period. This is a really nice kind of example of how the Emini compares, with the Nasdaq chart. So there we go, Nick. Hopefully that was helpful to you. That's what the Nasdaq looked like versus the Emini today, and I'll tag on that day trade. And hope your trading went well today.
Okay, just got short 90.25, short 90.25. It is 8:40 a.m. Chicago time. We've got a number coming out, 8:45 Consumer Confidence Index. Don't know what that's going to do, but we just jumped in here because got ourselves a little bit of a sweet sell-off overnight. And the number we bounced around, kind of the low here, is 88 even. We know this 88.75 number is absolutely key from 2 days ago. This number there, which is I was looking for the break of that yesterday as kind of a swan dive move, and no, we held within a half point and bounced. We had a V reversal here on better Pro-Am. But now, all of a sudden, kind of looking weak. The reason for getting in, we had just a little bit of a bounce, but we came into pull back in a downtrend resistance here on 1500, and we kind of gone through, bounced off that. A couple of blue professional bars kind of come in here, bang bang, and then we go through the lows of that. Shows they didn't like it. Now, my target's sitting at 86.25. I'm going to move that out because if I'm right, this, the drop through, here we go, we're hitting 88.75s. The drop through that all of a sudden would mean a big move. Or, around here, these kind of lows, 88. We're due for that. We have had very little range for a long time. Okay, so here we go, system view. This is the overnight session. So that was a really nice kind of swan dive move. Alright, we have now come into exhaustion sell, and some blue professional bars kind of coming at the lows, but no support red bars kind of coming in, trending bars yet. We've got to go this pullback end of trend and go resolve this on the downside. Interesting, the support levels at 88.75, so yeah, here we go. First little bit of interest here as that end of trend signal is likely to go off soon. Let's just see, we're playing with this level. It's kind of been key. If it's going to hold, we'll have a big bounce. If it's not, we'll have a big drop. Alright, here we go. Just got to 88s, held up a little bit. Now we're at 87.25. Excellent. So the 88 number was from the low pre-open. That one there. Presumably this Consumer Comfort Index number has kind of come out. It's not signaled in a trend yet on the 1500. Could be a bullish divergence when it does, just because we've had one here, but here we go. 87, so I've moved the target out to 84.25. What are we doing in terms of exhaustion patterns? This one kind of showing the strength of the sell down. So 86.25 just got touched. That was my initial target. Let's see if we get a screamer as this kind of collapses down. That's an exhaustion sell. Always getting the move going. Let's see. I wonder if we're going to get another one. But alright, we just had an under trend on the 1500 go off here. We've still got a wrap around on 500. Go pull back into trend. We've had a bullish divergence kind of coming, so I'm a bit nervous around this level, which is initial target 86.25. Flush pattern there. Continuing to go down. Alright, 84.25 is where my target is. There we go, blue professional bar. This will wrap around. 85.5. Come on, come on. No blue professional down, we're on 4,500. Gonna keep my target where it is just because that end of trend's gone off here. Blue professional down, but okay. Some kind of start to profit taking, going a little bit parabolic there. 85. Alright, come on, come on. Bingo. Excellent. Out 84.25 for 6. Excellent. And a one shot, one kill. Lovely. It's around an exhaustion cell kind of number. Blue professional down by on 45. Looks like we want to go further, but yeah. That's okay. That's not bad. And there we go, Rambo pounds. So we could easily have a little bit of a bounce, yeah, around these guys. Excellent. Okay, and it is 8:53 a.m. Good, done, done, done. I might just watch it for a few minutes, just see where this thing ends up going. We've still not even put him pull back in the trend on the 500 tip bar chart here. And there we go, a couple of minutes later, end of trend goes off on the 500 tip bar chart. And I'll be trying to punch out around here at the 82s, so there's another maybe 2 points in it, but I just like getting out on the way down, no fuss, rather than playing with these. Sometimes these can be really violent short covering rallies. But anyway, it is what it is, and there we go, bang bang.